I am a Florida-based, actually Tampa Bay area-based brand photographer. I also coach brand photographers, so I do have a course that will be transitioning into a program here later in the year. I'm also a stock photographer, so I have a stock photography membership called Color Joy Stock. So if you are looking for beautiful, vibrant, colorful, and neutral stock images, we also have video and Canva templates. I would love to see you inside the membership if you need that for your launches and so on. But yeah, let's get into the topic, which is how to create content for your brand yourself. So yes, I am a brand photographer. I do work with clients, but also I want to, sort of use my experience to empower you if you are not ready to hire a photographer. Maybe there isn't a brand photographer in your area, or maybe you just want to create your own content on your own. That was me. I am definitely the DIY lady, sometimes to a fault. I think I could do it all myself. I think that's because I'm an Enneagram 3. So if you are a fellow Enneagram 3, you know exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, I just wanted to share some tips, and not even if you are working with a photographer, I think it's important for you to also know how to create content on your own, right? So if you are like out and about with your family, or maybe like you just can't shoot that month, or at a certain point you have a launch coming up, or you just want to share what's going on in your business right now. You don't necessarily have like a professional photo or video for it. I don't want that to hold you back from creating content for your brand and moving your business forward, because at the end of the day, especially for social media, sharing content is what is going to help grow your business. It's going to attract new people to your brand. It's going to sell your product and services. So it's important for you, whether you have a professional camera or you are shooting with your iPhone 12 or 13, whatever new phone is out right now. I don't want that to hold you back from creating and, just connecting with your audience and growing your business. So I'm going to share some tips here. If you have any questions, please leave them in the chat. Please say hello as well, and like what you do, where you're from. I would love to say hello to you. I'm so happy to see so many of you on here. Hi, Bailey. Let me know like what you do. And then drop any questions you have. I want to answer some questions. Any burning questions you have, or while I'm talking, feel free to leave them here in the chat, and I'll be sure to answer them to the best of my ability. So first things first, like I said, everyone needs brand photos, and I have notes here. So if you see me looking down, it's because I don't want to forget anything. I want to stay on topic because I can go on tangents. But everyone needs brand imagery, right? Like whether you are taking photos with your camera or with your phone, if you have a business, if you're growing a brand, you need visuals. And like I said, don't let not being able to afford a photographer or being able to find a photographer in your area, don't let that hold you back from creating content for your brand. So the first step, and I'm going to kind of talk more about how to shoot content with your phone, because I know a lot of us, if we are hiring a photographer, we probably don't have a camera. So I'm going to talk more about how to create with your phone, okay? So the first thing I want to recommend is shoot in your workspace. Create content in your workspace, especially if you are an online business owner, if you sell a product. Create a little space in your home or wherever you create consistently to kind of create that branded aesthetic. That's the look that, people are going to recognize, whether they see your name on your post or they're scrolling through Pinterest. They're going to be like, oh, that looks like, so-and-so's brand. So find a space that you can create in consistently. Consistency is key when you're creating content for your brand, whether it's, your graphics, your photos, your videos. all of that is important. So make sure you create a little space in your workspace. Now I have a studio, so I do create a lot of my content in my studio. But before I had that, I was creating content in my little corner of my living room in my workspace. You can scroll down and see where I was doing that, but I had my desk set up, and you can do a really simple workspace setup in your home. I picked up a tabletop at IKEA. It was like $35, so like a nice white tabletop. IKEA, you're gonna piecemeal everything. So I grabbed some legs to attach to the table. They were like probably $4 each. And I had a desk. I still use it to this day, actually. Even though I have a few other desks, I still use that table primarily. So you can get a really inexpensive desk or workspace table to create your content. So you can have a desk, maybe a plant, a faux plant. I know we talked about this in another reel. If you have not seen that reel, check it out. But you can set up a really, really cute workspace with, your desk, a plant, some wall decor. Target, as anyone who knows me knows how much I love Target. You can get oh my gosh, you can get so much wall decor from Target. It's not even funny. Set up your little workspace. You have your laptop or your desktop, whatever it is. Maybe you have some cute, a nice candle. Don't overcomplicate it, because again, when you overthink it and you think, my space has to be perfect and everything has to be high end and it all has to come from, West Elm or CB2 or something, no, start where you are. You don't have to invest in really expensive furniture to create a beautiful workspace. So IKEA is a great place. Target, they have really beautiful, good quality furniture and decor at a great price. So you want to set up your workspace. Maybe you are really into style. Maybe you want to have a cute little clothing rack. And I would recommend getting a nice rug that matches your brand colors. So set up a workspace where you can go in and create at any point. I do recommend, if you can, set up your workspace near a window so you can have some natural light coming in. If you don't have a space with a window, don't fret. Don't worry about that. I would suggest, maybe investing in a ring light. You can get a ring light off of Amazon for like $50, maybe even less than that. I have some soft boxes, very inexpensive. Newer is a great brand. And I think it's Newer, or maybe it's Neweer, something like that. But if you search, ring light, I don't think Newer has a ring light, but they do have soft lights, artificial lights. You want soft lighting though. So if you are shooting in a room that doesn't have a window or natural light coming in, you want to make sure the lighting is soft so you can get some really nice, smooth lighting on your skin tone. But I would recommend, shooting in natural light if you can. Turn off all those overhead lights. Turn off those lamps when you're shooting so you don't get really warm, yellowy light. So I would definitely recommend turning off all your overhead lights. Even when I'm shooting in my clients' homes, I always suggest that hey, can we turn off all the lights and just see how much light is coming in? Also, for consistency, shoot at the same time every time you're shooting, again, for that consistency and your aesthetic. So pay attention to when your space gets the most amount of light. So maybe it's at noon, the light is shining in really super bright. Make sure you schedule that time, and I'm going to talk about scheduling and planning ahead. But make sure you schedule the same time as best you can. I know we're all busy. We may be working with clients, we may have kids, we've got families, but as best as you can, schedule it around the same time of day. Ideally, when the light is shining in the most, so you can get, the best lighting. Because if you're shooting with your camera, you can make some adjustments to, get increase the exposure and that kind of thing. But ideally, you want to start with really good lighting. So whenever the light is shining in the brightest, and then shoot around the same time every time you're shooting. Now, I want to talk a little bit about planning ahead. I think one of the common answers I get when I post content about like batch creating or creating content on your own is not really having a plan before you shoot. You gotta have a plan. There's no like nice way to say it. Like if you don't, what is the quote? Like if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And that is so true. Like we have a lot going on. We have businesses, we have families, we have so much going on. If you're relying on your memory to create content for your brand, it's probably not going to happen unless you're like this super like consistent, dedicated content creator. And even when I was creating content really, really consistently, I still had to schedule it in because I'm a mom, I have kids, like things come up. Something could come up with your health. Something could come up with, work. I don't know. So schedule that time in, like literally go in right now, if you're at your computer, and create a calendar invite to create content for your brand. I'm telling you, it makes such a difference when you have it scheduled into your other things, because if you have a busy week or you have something come up and you don't have that scheduled in, again, it's not going to happen. So schedule that on your calendar. And then I always try to start with some type of shot list or mood board. Now you can, there's many different ways you can do it. I like to work off of Pinterest. So Pinterest allows you to create Pinterest boards. You can create a private Pinterest board. So if you don't want like other people to see this board, maybe you're working on this like super top secret launch, or you just want, you want to keep it private, you can create a private Pinterest board, and you can save images that you like that are on brand for you. So, in your color palette, or certain poses that you like or want to try, or maybe the way someone's office is staged, like use that as your inspiration to set up your space before you shoot. So I definitely recommend like creating a mood board and use it ongoing. Like if I come across an image that makes me stop scrolling on Instagram or on Pinterest, I will immediately save it to my board. And then I'll go back to it later when I'm ready to create and say, okay, this aligns with this launch, or this aligns with what I'm going to be talking about this week or whatever. So have an ongoing private Pinterest board that you can refer to when you're creating content for your brand. It also really helps, again, with that consistency in your aesthetic. So I always recommend, like, if you like more dark and moody images, look for those type of images, add them to your mood board. If you like more like super vibrant, bright lighting, vibrant colors, add that to your board. If you like more muted tones, more like neutrals, add that to your board. So you want to start to build that aesthetic. Whether you're creating content for your brand, I do this with my clients as well. I say, hey, add, maybe 10 to 15 pins that maybe you have saved on your Instagram in a collection. You can, if you don't know this, you can actually share Instagram posts to Pinterest. So if you have images saved to or posts saved on your Instagram, you can actually reshare them to Pinterest and create a mood board there. You can also go into like, maybe you can create a folder, a collection folder in Instagram, and you but create a mood board before you shoot. One, for time efficiency, like we don't want to be spending 4 hours trying to create content, right? And I would say, if you are batch creating, and batch creating is basically creating a bunch of content in one sitting, you want to create enough content that you can use, for a while. I usually try to create enough at least for a couple of weeks. With my clients, it's kind of like batch creating on steroids. So we create enough content that they can use, for months to up to a year. Like some clients will just come to me once a year. But figure out what works for you, how much time you can commit. And, go from there as you get more comfortable with creating. But yeah, if you have any questions, just feel free to drop them here. I'm going to just take a break and just make sure I'm not missing anything. Hi, single mom adulting. I don't know your first name, but hi, photographer from Ohio. That's awesome. Hi, Audrey, branding stylist. Yeah, it can be an investment. Okay, awesome. So I'm going to keep going. So just a few things. I talked about the workspace. I also recommend, if you're creating content on your own in your own space, invest in a backdrop stand and a backdrop paper roll. If you don't know what that is, Google it. But you've probably seen it all over Instagram. You've seen people like posing on backdrops. You can create beautiful headshots with a backdrop paper. My go-to is Savage Seamless. I'll put it in a comment here. Savage Seamless is the brand. They have beautiful backdrop paper. They literally have any color you can think, like every color that you can think of. Whatever your like primary brand color is, they probably have it. You can also get like a neutral color. I usually try to stick with neutral colors at the studio just because I have, different clients coming through that have different brand colors. But if you're shooting in your own space and it's just you, like get a really nice backdrop paper in your brand color, and a backdrop stand. And Savage has backdrops in all different sizes. So you don't need like the biggest, widest one. I think the ones I usually get for the studio are like, I don't want to give you the wrong dimensions, but I think they're like 105 by something. I think they're like 8 feet going this way. But anyway, look for a backdrop paper that has that will fit into your space. You can get those for super cheap, like $40 for the paper. The stand is probably like $20 or $30, maybe $50. But invest in a backdrop paper and stand that you can set up in your space, and it's super easy to set up. You can shoot, especially like if you're doing speaking engagements, you're promoting a lot of offers on your social. You definitely want to have a nice headshot, right? And that's the easiest way, in my opinion, to get some really nice headshots that you can try out some poses and that kind of thing. Invest in a tripod so you can set up your phone on the tripod. I shoot with an iPhone 12. So, there's different settings, which I'll be sharing as well, on how to get the highest quality photos. But you want to invest in a tripod, a Bluetooth remote. So you can get a Bluetooth remote for like $7 on Amazon. I do recommend, if you are like, you set your phone on the tripod, maybe you start off with a self timer at like 10 seconds, right? You can do that, but it's going to get a little tiring, like going back and forth. Trust me, I know. So you can get a Bluetooth remote, really inexpensive. And just make sure you're like going back every now and then and checking to make sure the photos are coming out the way you want, because what you don't want is to like be clicking away on your remote and then you go back and you're like, oh, this is like something's not right. Maybe there's something in the background that you didn't notice before, or the lighting changed, or that kind of thing. So make sure you check like midway in between, just to make sure the photos are looking great. You can also do this with video as well. So you want to invest in a tripod. The brand that I like is called what is it called? I think it's called Manfrotto. That's a really great tripod. You can adjust the height. You can turn your phone or camera. I think this is the right name of the brand. But you can search it on Amazon. I think it was like $60, but you can get tripods pretty inexpensive as well, especially for phone. I would just make sure you check the reviews and make sure it's like really sturdy, because there's a lot of tripods out there for phone that are not that sturdy or that just break really easily. So tripod, backdrop stand, backdrop paper, Bluetooth remote, and then make sure you clean your lenses before you shoot, like every time, because even one smudge can make your photos come out really like blurry and grainy. So just make sure you clean your lenses. I think Zeiss is the name of the brand of cleaning wipes that I use. Just make sure you clean your lenses every time because it will make a difference. Okay. Any questions, feel free to drop them here. But I talked about, shooting same time every day for consistency. Outfits. So I definitely recommend, if you're creating content on your own, that you switch up your outfits. At least, depending on how much time you have, but I would at least change your outfits at least 2 or 3 times. Maybe it's just like switching out your top or throwing on a dress. Usually for my client sessions in like a 2-hour session, they'll change at least 3 or 4 times. But again, if you're shooting and like changing, it can get a little bit exhausting. So I would start out with at least change your outfit twice. We'll just start there. And then if you're not really sure like what to wear, one, I would make sure your outfits are in your brand color palette. So if you aren't sure like what your brand colors are, you definitely want to invest some time in figuring out what that is. But you could also start with like, look at your closet, what kind of outfits you already have, and what are some of the common colors you have. So I usually say like for your color palette with your outfits, try to stick to like 2 or 3 colors so you don't have too many colors. Or you can go neutral and just wear, everything neutral. So as you're growing your business or you're figuring out what your brand colors are, you don't have outfits that kind of clash with those colors. So, but as far as like what to wear, I'm not a stylist by any means. But I do like to dress. I like to, my style is more like casual, elevated kind of. So it really just depends on what you like. But I always recommend wearing an outfit that you would wear like working from home, one that you would wear like if you were meeting with clients, either virtually or in person, what you'd wear while you're attending or speaking at a conference, and then something you'd wear like out and about, like at a brunch, maybe a brunch with your girlfriends or a date night with your significant other. So some of the outfits that I like or that I've seen my clients wear are like athleisure, like a matching set is really popular. So like a matching top with pants, like sweatpants or joggers or something like that. Those look super cute in photos with like a chunky sneakers. I love chunky sneakers right now. Or like a workout set. So if you're really into fitness and wellness, wear your workout outfit. I would recommend it's in your brand colors, but wear something that you feel great like working out in. You definitely want to like look in the mirror, make sure you feel comfortable, like you feel good posing in these outfits, like both sitting and standing. Another outfit idea could be like jeans and a button-down shirt that looks super polished, casual. You could throw on like a nice blazer or some type of cardigan or duster, or, just like a nice jacket, or a dress, like a really nice, I love, love, love those button-down dresses, like the not t-shirt dresses, but shirt dresses. So like those dresses that button all the way down, and dresses that are belted. Like if I see one, I'm probably going to buy it. But those photograph really well. They're comfortable to wear both sitting and standing. So just a few ideas on like choosing outfits. Again, try to stick with a color palette. Yay, I'm glad this is helpful. But try to stick with a color palette, okay? Any questions about outfits, feel free to, leave it there. But again, I'm not a stylist. Those are just things that I like. Some of the brands I like to shop are like H&M, Aerie is really cool. Target, of course, they have great affordable clothes. Amazon, I've had a lot of clients share how much they love shopping clothes on Amazon. I have not done that yet. I'm very conscious of like the brands I shop because I'm looking for like plus size styles. So I don't always have to try it on, but I kind of stick with the same brands. Old Navy is another really good one. I got a really nice button down belted dress from Old Navy. They have great affordable clothes. Madewell is another wonderful brand. I love shopping their stuff. What else? Those are just a few. I mean, it really just depends on your personal style. I definitely recommend doing your makeup. I'm not going to give any hairstyles because there's so many different styles. But if you are, shooting with your phone, especially because you're going to want to edit these photos after you shoot them, wear like a full coverage foundation. Trust me on this. It's going to make editing so much easier. So I would not recommend wearing like a tinted moisturizer or something that's not going to give like a smooth texture on your face. If you can do like a facial before or a mask to make sure your skin looks really nice and smooth and clear. And then I would do a full coverage foundation because natural light is going to pick up everything. You're not going to be able to necessarily shoot with a filter on it. Obviously you can edit it on the back end, but it may take some extra time. So I would recommend getting a full coverage foundation and use that before you shoot. So again, that can really help make the editing process a lot easier. I hope this is helpful. Let me know if you have any other questions about this. But yeah, make sure you use a full coverage foundation, play up the eyes, some nice like eyeshadow. I don't recommend shimmer for photos. It can make your eyes look like kind of squinty. If you do a shimmer, maybe like in the corner of the eyes, maybe like along your bottom lash. Again, I am not a makeup artist, but these are just things that while I'm editing, I notice are just translate really well on camera. Cheek colors, like nice warm cheek colors, a nude lipstick or a pop of color if you like a pop of color. You don't have to like go all out with your makeup, but you want to make sure it looks, nice on camera. So maybe you want to do like some test shots and see like if you need to make some adjustments with your makeup. So we talked about hair, makeup, outfits. I talked a little bit about, setting up your space before you shoot. So you want to set up your phone on your tripod or your camera on your tripod in your space. Like after you've staged it, set it up, do a test shot, make sure everything looks like there's nothing in the background. Because I know like when I'm shooting at home, I'm like, let me move all the clutter to this side. So just make sure, the clutter's not in the shot that you want to get. Try different angles too. Like it doesn't always have to be like straight on. Maybe you want to like tilt your phone where you can shoot like from above, like an aerial shot, or from the side. You want to play around with your angles so you have some different options to choose from, especially like if you're planning to post these online on Instagram. So make sure you play around with your angles. And then also like I always recommend wearing some type of like statement jewelry. So earrings, rings, or a nice watch, arm candy. Make sure you get detail shots too. Like please, and I say this to my clients as well, like don't just get a bunch of headshots of you like standing in one pose, like please. And that's why having a mood board is so helpful because you can really create a lot of variety. So you want to, look for poses that are full body, waist up or hips up. You want to look for ones, maybe you want to get like a nice shot of like your shoes or, I don't want to say a foot shot, but like you want to also incorporate detail shots. So maybe you want to shoot, get a nice wide shot of your desk or your workspace, and then come up close to your workspace and get some of those details as well. So maybe have like a nice candle with your plant on one side. You have, your coffee mug and, your wall decor on the other side. You have like your laptop in the middle. Get a shot of that. Maybe you get a nice detail shot of like your wall, what's on your wall. Maybe you have like a whiteboard or a pin board or something. Maybe you have like a nice vision board in your workspace. Get those detail shots. So again, you can really use them in so many different ways. How many times are you like, oh, I wish I had like this cute Reels cover? I know I do. And so, if for nothing else, like create content that you can use for your Reels covers. But those detail shots are a great way to do that. So like not every single post is of your face. Like, yes, I am all about like show up for your audience, show your face, but you want to switch it up, like keep it interesting so people aren't like inclined to keep scrolling. They're like, oh, it's another photo of her face. So focus on those details. Those are great, like custom stock photos as well. Maybe you get like a shot of your hands on your keyboard and you have like, I don't know, your favorite drink in the shot or your notebook and pen in the shot. But get those details because again, that can really help to create that variety. They look great in like graphics. If you're creating quote graphics, you can also do this for video. But I think that's all I want to share for now. I really hope this was helpful to you. I think it's really important, especially now with the way things are changing on social media. Also investing in your blog. If you don't have one, invest time in your blog. You can use these images in so many different ways than just social media, right? Like Reels are great, but Reels are not solely going to grow your business. Like you have to diversify your content. If you don't know what content marketing is, I'll be sharing this topic as well. You got to get your content on more than one platform. So, invest in your blog, use those photos for your blog, pin them to Pinterest, create your freebies or your lead captures, use them there, use them in your email marketing. If you have a YouTube channel, oh my gosh, like if you have a YouTube channel, use these photos as your thumbnails. Instead of just shooting all portrait mode, which is like vertical mode, shoot them in horizontal so you can use them as your YouTube thumbnails. Now you can create thumbnails with portrait, vertical images as well. But shoot in horizontal too, so you can use them in different ways. You can use them as banners. If you have a Facebook group or a Facebook page, if you have a membership, I just updated my dashboard in my membership Color Joy with one of my updated photos, self-portraits. So many different ways that you can use your brand photos. So don't think, oh, it just has to be, for Instagram Reels. You can use them in stories. There's so many different ways. If you're okay with not editing your skin, does that look unprofessional? I think that's a great question. No, I don't think it's unprofessional if you don't edit your skin. If your brand is like very natural, casual, you can still be professional and be casual. Like you're not going to see me in a suit. Well, I have seen a couple of suits that I might wear, that I might buy, but on most occasions, you're not going to see me in a suit, and we're still making money out here in sweatpants and sneakers and casual hair. So don't feel like you have to, do like this really intense, like retouching. No, I don't believe that you have to do that. If it makes you feel more comfortable, if you have a pimple or a blemish or, your skin just doesn't look as smooth as you would like, edit your skin. I like to use Lightroom to edit both on my phone and desktop. I use it for client work and I use it for, just casual content that I post on Instagram. A very easy way to edit your skin without doing too much is to reduce the noise reduction. So if you go into Lightroom, if you use Lightroom, look for the noise reduction. I think it's in effects, the effects section of Lightroom. Turn the noise reduction to the negative. So I usually do like maybe -20 on the noise reduction. There's also an adjustment brush in Lightroom. I don't want to get too technical with this, but I do have an editing class coming up on the 24th. I don't know what day of the week that is. I think it's a Thursday. So I would love to see you in the editing class if you would like to learn more about editing in Lightroom. But you can also use an adjustment brush. There's a skin smoothing or skin softening brush in there where you can just, smooth over the skin. I usually will do that even with client work if I don't do like super heavy skin retouching. But I will remove any blemishes, make sure the skin looks super smooth and, make it look good, because at the end of the day, you want the photo to look good. So if you look at it and you feel good about it, go with that. But it does not have to be like super like retouched. Where can we go to get ideas for different poses? Hi, Letitia. I do have some posing tips on my blog. You can go to my link in bio. Pinterest is a great place to look for poses. You can just search, you can literally just search poses and something will come up. You can Google search, but I like to go to Pinterest or go to like people who I trust. And that, poses that I like. If there's like brands you follow, like right now, I'm really into like looking at some of the brands I'm on their like email list, clothing brands specifically, that I'm on their email list, and I will save some of their poses to my Pinterest board because I really like the poses. It looks like something I could try. So just kind of pay attention to like, what are some of the marketing things that you get, whether it's marketing emails or Instagram posts that you like how they're posed, and then kind of save it from there. If you don't follow a lot of brands on social media, I would definitely just, go with Pinterest and search, you can get specific, like poses at a desk or poses on a backdrop or poses, outside at a park. Like you can get really specific, but that's where I would start. Yes. Hi, Dion. Yeah, absolutely. I'm glad this was helpful. If you have any other questions or anything else, feel free to DM me. I'm going to be sharing more tips about, how to create content on your own, how to make that process a little bit easier. I mean, it's going to be a learning curve. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, it's going to be a learning curve. It's not going to be easy at first because you're getting to know yourself. Like, there's a lot of self-development in, getting in front of the camera, building your confidence. And that is me 100%. That's why I became a photographer. I didn't necessarily want to get in front of the camera and do lives like this and, pose, not necessarily being the most confident in the way my body looks now versus how it looked, before I had kids. And, what about my hair? What about, just so many different things that you think about. But I want to encourage you when you are creating content for your brand, especially self-portraits, done is better than perfect. I know that sounds super cliche. I was just having a conversation with my dad about this morning. Just start, even if you create something and you don't post it, keep going, keep creating until you feel good about it. But don't wait for everything to be perfect. Don't wait for the stars to align. Oh my gosh, the lighting isn't perfect today, so I'm not going to shoot. Just create that habit of creating and then create the habit of posting. Because if you create all this content and you never use it, what is the point? You're wasting your time. It's also a great way, especially when you are ready to work with a photographer, if you ever do end up doing that. You'll learn so much about yourself. You'll learn so many different things about yourself, how you like to pose, how you look on camera, what are the, certain facial expressions that you like, that, what are your go-tos. Us photographers, we can tell when you are not confident in front of the camera. Yes, we will pose you, but at the end of the day, if you're not confident in yourself and how you look and how, the purpose of why you're doing it, which is to show up for your audience, to help people, to serve your clients or your customers, if you're selling a product, it's gonna show on camera, regardless of how great the pose is. So, if nothing else, use this as an opportunity to build your confidence, getting in front of the camera, and also just showing up for yourself, showing up for your audience, and growing your business. So I hope this was helpful. If you have any other questions, feel free to DM me. I'll be sharing more content about this. I will hopefully be launching a service for this if you are needing more support. But at the end of the day, I want you to just go out there and create the content, post the content, learn, fail forward, and just can keep going. This entrepreneur journey it's a marathon. It's not a sprint. You may not grow as fast as you would like. I know I can relate to that, but if you won't know until you try it. You won't know what you're capable of until you do it. So do it. All right. Have a great day. Have a great rest of the week, and I'll see you next time. Bye.